Is money causing tension in your relationship? Learn how to fix cash conflicts and build financial harmony with your partner today. Hello, I'm Kent Irwin, Financial Life Coach, and today I'm talking with Shelby Hutchins. Shelby is a business owner, a mom, and a friend, and we met in Toastmasters a few months ago.
Fellow Toastmaster.
That's right. And today we're going to talk about some of the common issues that couples have when it comes to finances. Thank you so much for coming.
All right. Money and relationship can be such a tricky balance, right, Kent?
Yes, it can.
Yeah. What are some of the most common money conflicts that you run into that you see couples face?
Right. I think there's 7.
7?
There are 7.
All right.
Okay. So there's communication about money.
Okay.
So that sometimes is an issue where couples aren't communicating about decisions. So they're operating in different spaces. Mm-hmm. Another one is financial stress. So couples are stressed about finances and they often don't collaborate. So sometimes the financial stress bleeds into other areas of the relationship. Often there's trust issues. If couples are going in different directions and have different goals, sometimes they hide, and sometimes trust affects the marriage. Mm-hmm. And we know if there's a lack of trust or the trust has taken a few hits, that can affect the marriage relationship as well, can it?
Absolutely.
A lot of times couples have different goals for each other or for themselves or for the family, and they really haven't outlined those or worked on, and they don't work on them necessarily together. And then there are money control issues. Sometimes it's not unusual for a lot of couples that there's one person that might be a little bit more controlling. That's okay. We can work through that, but often that's an issue that sometimes creates marital tension when it comes to money.
Right. And
also resolving money conflicts. Do we have a way, have we developed a method to resolve financial conflicts when they happen? And they will happen because you're two separate, unique people.
Yeah.
So have you worked out a plan to resolve conflicts? What's your conflict style? How do you work through that so that you work on things together versus these conflicts causing you to be distant from each other?
Yeah, it almost sounds like a template to be able to know how are we going to fix this issue when it arises. And this is the style that we're going to do it in because we both agreed upon how to deal with it.
That's right.
Okay.
That's something we can all work on. In fact, as I was putting this outline together, I was realizing this is probably something my wife and I could probably put together a little outline. Yeah. When this happens, this is how we're both going to respond.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. The clarity is what avoids a lot of the conflict, is just getting it all on the table and agreeing this is how we're going to deal with it. And
right.
When it comes up, this is our template.
And an awareness of how you deal with conflict. Some people don't like conflict.
That's true.
Some people thrive on it. Mm-hmm. Some people just have different ways of doing it. So just having some simple rules and some understanding going into how to resolve conflict, I think will help a lot of couples.
Yeah, knowing yourself enough to know your style.
That's right.
It makes a lot of sense.
And the last one is understanding unique differences. So everybody's wired differently. We have different upbringing. We have different culture. We bring a lot of unique personality traits into the relationship. But often we're not conscious of what those differences of our partner are. So knowing those, appreciating them, building upon them is really helpful for couples.
Yeah, accepting them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you may know, but you may not be willing to accept it right away.
Yeah. Sometimes once you're aware of them and they make you aware of them,
yeah,
especially the positive ones, sometimes that adds your confidence.
Totally.
So it can be really healthy.
That's wonderful. Of the 7, which one's the number 1?
That's a great question. It's really hard. I don't have a scientific answer for this.
Okay.
And there's
based on your experience.
Yeah,
right?
And there's different layers of it, okay? But I would say, in addition to that we're wired differently, the biggest issues that I find is that people have different goals. So for example,
goals with their finances or just goals in life?
Both. So the goal of, let's say, one of the people in the relationship might be that they have a greater sense of security when the spending is a little lower, mm-hmm. when they have a little bit more money in savings. Security in the home front is important to some couples or one of the individuals in a relationship. So often that we find that there's one person that they just feel more secure. So when spending happens, it triggers those feelings. Okay.
And knowing that about your partner, it can really help, I assume.
It can really help. Also, you might have a couple that you might have somebody in the relationship. It's really important to them that they are able to do this activity that might cost money, this hobby, this sport. this experience. And it's not something that necessarily their spouse really enjoys doing, okay?
Or sees value in it. Maybe.
Or see value in it. But also there may be some goals that the couple share, such as they want to go on this vacation together, or they want to do these things for their children if they have them. So there's 3 sets of goals: collaborative goals, and then there's individual goals.
And it's okay for each of them to have their individual goals, picking up on?
Absolutely. Okay. It's very important to have those. So you can see that they could have different goals for spending, lifestyle, and financial management.
Okay. That's really interesting, Ken. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Absolutely. So the exercise that I go with through some couples is we have this discussion. We try to understand what the other goals are that the other person has. And so that creates awareness.
Around each person's goals and then the collective goals.
Right.
And this is a whole exercise that you're taking them through together in one session.
I do. It's really simple. Okay. It's really easy. It's fun. And so then the next part that I get them to do, and there's space in between for some of the things that we do. So the next major thing that we do is we have the partner fall in love with the goals of the other partner.
Wow. I love that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, because you can put yourself in that place of making yourself feel the love for whatever the goal is, because that's your sweetheart and you want to partake in their
you want them to do the things that fulfill them and make them happy, and I want the same for you.
Which then benefits me either way, because then my partner's happy that I'm supporting their happiness, and it's like this positive loop.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that is really beautiful.
I'm a golfer, I confess. But my wife is like, she supports me in that activity. She's excited when I do well. She lifts me up sometimes when I don't, but she supports that activity. Sometimes she'll tell me, go golfing. You need that. So she supports me in that. And then what do? It causes me in my mind to think, what is it that she really enjoys to do? Right. Well, there's this particular friend that she likes to hang out with. They love to go to lunch. They love to go to Joanne Fabrics and talk about some of the things. They both have common interests when it comes to sewing or doing crafts, and just go out and have that fun. Or now that her sisters moved to town, they can do some things together that they both enjoy. And then I get excited for her when she does those, versus thinking of it, when she goes out and spend money, how is that going to affect the things that I want to do?
Right, on a deeper level. Yeah, that's a great point.
So there's some collaboration that goes on and some sacrifice. I might not be able to do some of the things that I want because it'll contribute to the finances for the things that she wants to do. But I know that she'll be doing the same thing for me.
Right.
So it works out really well. It creates more balance, creates love.
That's a great example. I love that you shared that personal insight with us. So, Kent, when you find couples that don't have this kind of exchange or willingness to meet each other where the other one is based on their goals, what comes out of that?
Well, what comes out of it is sometimes lack of trust, because I might hide something, or you might, that the other person might hide something from the other spouse. So that affects trust. So you see that if they're not collaborating, working on things together, they're living separately. They're not working together, and working together is what marriage and relationships are about. If they haven't created this kind of interchange, now there's conflict that they're not working through. What comes out of conflict often? Resentment. If there's issues with trust, if there's issues with conflict, and then there's resentment, you can see that there's space for a lot of unhealthy things to enter a relationship.
Negative
looping. And what happens there? Sometimes it causes people to have marital difficulty. These are some of the reasons, and maybe one of the top reasons, why finances are one of the largest causes for divorce, because they haven't been able to work through the money issues, and more importantly, the underlying issues that money touches on.
That's it.
So it's sad to see. So if you're a couple and you're working through this, work on it now. Otherwise, it
kind of rhymes based on what you're saying, is like how your financial life is with your spouse and how you guys work through that rhymes probably also with other aspects of your marriage to some degree. And if you can hone in on that and create that security and safety and trust, then it trickles into the other aspects of your life.
It does. Money touches almost every area of life. So if you can create this kind of collaboration, you can see where it will spread out into other areas of life. It increases intimacy, enjoyment, happiness in marriage. Heck, it even makes the sex life better.
Takes away all the stress.
It does.
Love that. All of this, Kent, is so beautiful to see how you're painting this picture for us.
It is, isn't it? It's really fun to see couples work together, to heal on some things, to rebuild trust, to come closer together. It's a lot of fun.
So you touched a lot on mindset, on why couples can't see eye to eye in certain aspects of their financial life. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I could, not sure we have time in this video, but that's something that I do in coaching. We talk about different money mindsets. Also, the prior video that we shot that was released earlier in the last few days, that one's called Breaking Free of Money, Shame, Stress, and Pain video that we just shot. So check that out. We go into a little bit more detail when it comes to mindsets in that video.
Awesome.
I'll put a link to that video in the description below.
So I love how we broke down the source of the money conflicts within marriages. This is going to be huge for people who are in marriages, who people are getting ready to go into a marriage. Imagine having this knowledge before you even get into a union to be able to start off on the right foot. I think that is super valuable. And these conversations about collaboration and not competing are so essential to having a happy, strong foundation in your marriage. So thank you so much for elaborating on that for us, Kent.
You're welcome. It's been enjoyable to talk about it. I really enjoyed it. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel so that you'll be notified when future videos are released. Thank you so much. If you're a couple, start working on these things now so that you don't plant the seeds of resentment or distrust. These things are really important to helping you live a happier and more love-filled marriage. Thank you so much.